Also, I'm concerned about the announcement last week. It appears that there was an agreement already with the council to rent out City Manager Gisbert to Mexico Beach. But that requires a vote, and the vote occurs today. So how is it, Mr. Mayor, that you knew that you would have the required votes? It sounds to me like a sunshine law violation.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And you'll address that as well?
I will try. If you will accept.
Yes, sir.
I called out to offer my condolences for their city manager and to offer any assistance that we could give him during that time. I've known Al most of my life, and I've known Mexico Beach all of my life. And I think in my position, it's my job to offer any assistance I can to a sister city in Bay County, especially one that I feel so important as a bookend of Bay County. I did not talk to Mr. Cathy at that time about any person, any personnel, anything other than any assistance that I could offer him. And I think I have a right to do that. The next thing is, that agreement was not made by me. I got the same phone call that every other member of this council got from our city manager, who had contacted Mr. Cathy and talked to him about that. And then he asked us, and I assume they all told him the same thing I did, that I had no problem with it if it was a contract that I could agree on. That contract, as you reported, so inaccurately, I might add, is to be voted on today and ratified, the one that they voted on last week. That contract, as you will hear, had you waited or asked to look at it, since you're so good at public records, you would have noticed that they pay for the time they use him and we pay for the time we use him. Nothing other than that has ever been voted on or would be voted on by anyone. To jump to the conclusions you have that there's something wrong with me offering assistance or condolences to a fellow mayor is ridiculous, but falls right in line with your need to run your mouth on inaccuracies at all times. You are pitiful in a reporter, if that's what you call yourself. If I've misstated anything, if somebody would like to add to or change it, now would be a time. Because you also are accused of being liars and sunshine bowers.
I was contacted individually by the city manager based on his discussions with Mexico Beach, and at that time I said, based on whatever information is provided to us by the attorneys, I would definitely take a look at it, but if it was a good fit, I was good with it.
Pretty much the same. I have no idea what anybody else was doing or saying. Mario called and asked about it.
Mario did.
Yeah.
We'll conduct this meeting. You ask a question, you're getting an answer. Sit there and listen to it.
However,
Yes, Mario called.
However,
Yeah.
I have no indication, nor was I provided any information on any other council members' conversations.
And I was also contacted by Mario, just to ask. That's it.
I was contacted by Mario. That's the first I heard of it, and I told him I needed to think about it for a while, but I thought it was a good idea, and I still believe that it'd be helpful to help our neighbors in Mexico Beach.
You're basically asking permission if he could speak with Mexico Beach.
Right.
All right. Item number 1.
I want to make sure I understand. Each of you said that City Manager Mario Gisbert called you individually last week and said, we're interested in having me go help Mexico Beach, but it would require, obviously a vote. Everybody knows that. And he called each of you individually and asked you what you thought about that. And each of you individually told him how you felt about that, correct?
For him to have a conversation with Mexico City,
Yes,
Mexico Beach.
to have a conversation with Mexico
Yes.
Beach.
Nothing has been voted on by us as of yet.
Right. But Mr. Mario Gisbert was indeed an intermediary, correct?
No.
He was not. He just made the phone calls.
I don't know what these other guys told him. I'll find
No
out
idea.
today by they vote.
just like we said.
If that's true, then how did you issue a press release saying that he was going to be doing that before the vote?
I said we were offering that. I was offering that. He asked if he could
There
do
was a
it.
press release with news reports that he would be going to
If
Mexico
people
Beach.
believe everything they hear in the news, that may be the problem,
You
because
issued
they're
the press
believing you.
release. You issued the press release. It was issued by Panama
Yes.
City Beach. How did you know you would have the vote?
The statement that we wrote, that Debbie and I put together, was accurate.
Could it be that Mr. Mario Gisbert was the go-between? Is that how you knew?
No, he was a go-between between me and him, between no one else.
Okay, thank you. I think I've got what I need.
That is a fact.
Ms. Myers, could you expand upon that?
There is case law that says if Mario communicated back to you in his conversations with each of you individually, communicated back to you what the others were thinking, that could be a sunshine law violation.
Right.
Yes.
If that did not happen, there's no violation of sunshine law. He was
Right.
obtaining consent to pursue this opportunity, which
Correct,
by all accounts is what happened here.
correct.
Correct.
That's right.
It's no different than a lot of other business that takes place when the city manager calls us to see if there's consent on something, but we never ask, what does everybody else want to do? You just don't ask those things. Everybody knows better than that.
That's normal.
Just because you accuse me of being a liar doesn't make me one. When I accuse you of one, you've already written it down, so they know what you are.
Personally.